Good morning. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to my home and welcome to our sacred space that I prepared for us here today. I am now shuffling our Brian L. Weiss, MD. What do they call? They're called Healing the Mind and Spirit cards. This will be our thought of the day today. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the deck and pull the card from the bottom. And we have, I perceive my difficulties as opportunity for spiritual growth. So this is really kind of nice to think about. Unless you've been suffering your whole life, then this can be kind of not such a happy card. You can learn more when there are many obstacles than when there are few or none. I do have a little story to tell about me when I was a little kid. I really enjoyed Bible stories, and my dad and my grandfather were really, really, really good at telling Bible stories. And one of my favorite stories, or most horrifying story, there are lots of horrifying stories in the Bible, and that's one of the reasons I loved them so much, was the story of King Solomon. Now, here's the thing about King Solomon in the Bible. He's known as the wisest man in the world at that time. And I was very excited about that. And I wanted to be really smart. And I felt like wisdom and being smart were similar and are the same thing as a child. I didn't really have a difference in my head, but I did. I talked to my dad about it. And, he told me that King Solomon prayed for wisdom. And so that's what I did for a long time. And as a teen, I finally stopped because I had too many difficulties that were also spiritual growth. So with wisdom does come a lot of travail. Let's just put it that way. If you are someone that is hurting chronically, I don't want to make light of it with this card. So I just want to keep that in mind, and I want to honor those of you who have chronic pain, be it emotional or physical, and know that you really do and are more aware of some things than others, and you do have more wisdom. But that's not, I know that's not necessarily a comfort. So I wish I had a comfort for you, but I don't. I also suffer from a chronic from a painful and chronic illness. So we're going to leave it at that for right now. And go ahead and move on to your cards. So let's talk about your card toppers. This one we are going to call Sri Yukteswar. Sri Yukteswar is a famous yogi master teacher from long ago. This is the rose quartz. I'm sorry, it's not rose quartz. It's rose selenite, which without the sand, without the rose part, it actually looks like this little house back here. This is what selenite, these are both selenite. Isn't that interesting? But anyway, we're going to put this selenite back, and we will talk about the next card topper, which is just an ordinary acorn. And then last but not least, here's Paramahansa Yogananda. Sri Yukteswar was Paramahansa's teacher. Paramahansa wrote Autobiography of a Yogi in the 1920s, and it has been a bestseller since. It has not gone off the New York Times bestseller list since it was put on long, long ago. And to me, that's why I read that book. That's one of the reasons that, and so many people recommending it, and I do recommend it to you. All right, let's go ahead and see what Sri Yukteswar has for us. And I've shortened his name. And you have the 8 of Rods. Now, when I see this card, I really think about, just dealing with the most basic of things. That, if you want an assignment today, that's what it is. Only deal with the most basic of things. And in dealing with them, what I'm thinking is usually cleaning up. Have you ever heard of keeping your side of the street clean? That's kind of the spirit of this. So physically, you would bathe, you would scrub your house, sweep your porch, then you might move to your car or workplace and deal with the basics there. Now, cleaning is not the only way to deal with the basics. Getting back to basics, it could be, let's just say, metaphorical cleaning of the mind, soul, body, and spirit. So if you were to have an assignment today, Sri Yukteswar, or is that who this is? No, this is... I forgot. I forgot which frog this is. I don't know what I said. Whoever he is, the suggestion is to get back to basics, and as you're perceiving your difficulties as opportunities for spiritual growth, know that when you come across that extra hard stain in the carpet that you're trying to get up, or the baked on mess under your armpit, that's for my brother. Then yeah, I'm getting too silly. Let's move on. Let me calm myself down here, and let's go ahead, and we'll see what's under the rose selenite. And you do have the Six of Spades or the Six of Swords. And yes, it was inverted, but this card doesn't really have a negative side even when it's inverted. Basically, you see these two figures here. And one of them is paddling the boat, and one of them is a passenger, and the swords are all around this passenger person. The swords indicate troubles of the mind, that kind of thing. The boat and a boat over water represents a journey, often a journey of the mind or a psychic journey even. In this instance, I would say that this represents you and possibly another taking a journey, a metaphorical journey, to put your problems behind you. What did the back say? You can learn more when there are many obstacles than when there are few or none. Well, that's not very heartening. But I guess that is talking about learning from your mistakes, the little troubles that you are journeying, not running away from, but journeying through in a way. And know that you will have learned much. So if you have if you want an assignment for today, it would just be to be aware of that journey, be aware of moving away from the troubles through process in the best way that you can. We're not going to pick up the Acorn, or like Winnie the Pooh, and I know he's English, so I know they may have something called haycorns over there, but I always think of Winnie the Pooh saying haycorn when I see an acorn. Because I love Winnie the Pooh. And you have the Emperor today. The Emperor. So this is the thing. This goes really well with this card. Because the Emperor is a very wise person. The Emperor is usually an older person. So this energy could be you. Whether you be male, female, or other, the Emperor does represent as male, but that doesn't mean that it has to be a male personage that we're talking about. The Emperor is very wise because he's been battle tested. They've been in battles. They are in a place of authority. They're also someone that understands conflict and understands the power of conviction. When I say battle tested, I mean that the Emperor's been through a lot. The Emperor is wise beyond their years because of what they've been through. They have learned a lot. And so if you don't feel this vibing with you as it being you, if you're feeling young and lost, if you're feeling not so wise, I'd like you to imagine yourself as this personage, this person who has learned a lot. And try to go ahead and force the vibe if you can. Go ahead and feel your inner self, even if it's your future self, your future wise and knowing self. If that's still not the case, then think of someone in your life that you feel like you could learn something from if you went and spoke to them today, especially in regard to any difficulties that you've been having in your life. Go ahead and seek that person out and truly seek a conversation with them about the things that you can learn from them, or find that personage within yourself. And now we are on to Paramahansa Yogananda, who wrote Autobiography of a Yogi. And you have the beautiful and the lovely Queen of Pentacles. She is a wise woman. We have a lot of wisdom here on the table today. She's a beautiful and wise woman. She also is someone who is extremely generous. She really likes to donate to the arts because she herself is artistic. The thing about her is that when she gets in a bad mood, or maybe when she's in her cycle, and while I'm talking about her as female, it's the female energy that we're reading. This could be a person of male or female or other, but we're reading this energy. So she can also be kind of picky. She can also be like annoyingly picky. She can also be someone, we've all heard of a Karen, which I'm not really appreciating that, because I have a sweet sister named Karen that is really not a Karen in the sense of the word definition of today. But our Queen of Pentacles can be so. She can also be a little bit nosy and get a little enmeshed in people, places, and things and relationships where she doesn't necessarily need to. Put with it, I perceive my difficulties as opportunities for spiritual growth. I don't know if this is you today, or if this is someone in your life that's been maybe a little bit too nosy, something that you're not really interested. Like, it could be a parent. Like, what I'm thinking about when I see this card is I'm thinking about someone, a young person who has recently moved away from home, and mom is not letting go. Still calling every day, sometimes twice a day. That's kind of the feeling of emotion I get. So I do want you to take with you what works with you and leave the rest. This person could be you. This person could be a mother figure to you, or someone else in your life, a big sister. At any rate, give them some slack. Whether it be you or someone else, go ahead and realize what a difficult time this is for everyone. And this is why this person has been maybe annoyingly nosy, or annoyingly enmeshed with you, or kind of like putting themselves places where they don't really belong in your life. Give them a little slack. Perceive your difficulties as opportunity for spiritual growth with this person. If this person is you, again, give yourself some slack. And here we are. We're at the end of this video. I hope you found this moment to be just what you needed. Do take what resonates with you and leave the rest, but also please don't make life-altering decisions or changes based on video pick-a-card readings. Not even this one. Not even with Paramahansa Yogananda here heading up the pack. I do recommend that book. It has been on the bestseller list since it first hit the bestseller lists in the 1920s, or close to there. Thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you again soon.